when I was listening to what he was saying, I started like thinking of different concepts that kind of make me help me to display my point. And one concept, like y'all know y'all like mom or dad used to tell y'all, "Oh, you book smart, you not street smart." Like they used to say that. I'm from the South, so they used to say that all the time. To different people. And I think just to today's time, the women are just not relationship smart. It's kind of like on that side because going off Clout's point with the balance, right? In ancient time when they was balancing the scales and stuff like that, they had different currencies. So they was trying to figure out, hey, this amount of this is this and this amount of this is that, right? But they trying to balance the scale with the same thing. And you don't balance a scale with giving the same thing that you're trying to give somebody. You're trying to give them something different. So I think with that confusion of them trying to be the man that they want rather than trying to be in the woman for that man has confused them, because just like I said, a lot of the older women has taught them all this BS. That's how feminism got so popular, because the older adults was teaching the young girls and they raised them up from youth. And then now that same older generation taught the young women the same thing. And now we sitting on 40, 60 years of BS. And now we trying to like, hey, we trying to figure it out. Hey, no, that's stupid. That's not. Because even the good women got some of these ideas in their head too that you kind of got to like flush out. So sometimes you got to be patient with some of these ladies. But I know somebody ain't got the, the patience. Hey, that's on you, but it's crazy how in today's time that we can't get it together, but it's going to have to be a reckoning.
I want to add one more thing. This just came to my mind, but I think it's possible that chivalry might have had a impact on why women might not value men. And I'm thinking about it kind of because, like, why I say chivalry might have done that is because if you really think about chivalry kind of sought to shield women and protect women from seeing all the ugly sides of life, right? And I think that by shielding women from the ugly sides of life, they actually don't see what we actually do. So everything that appears from their perspective, it just pops out of thin air. Like, for example, women don't see police go through training. They just see police on the street. They don't, like, you know what I mean? They're not seeing the construction workers while they're building the buildings. You know what I mean? Like I forget who said it before, but women used to bring food to the construction workers because there was times when you could actually see the construction workers on the construction, on the construction site, sitting off of a beam 300 feet in the air. So you could see they clearly needed help. So you could actually visibly see the sacrifice they're making, right? You see construction workers now, they got machines, they got devices. So I think from the woman perspective, they don't really see the hard work that men do. They don't see the actual danger that men are put in because we've actually shielded them from viewing it. But the contributions that women make, unfortunately, the difference is that their contributions were often made in the home. So everyone saw those contributions. We saw mom in the kitchen cooking, but we didn't see dad at the steel mill. You get what I'm saying? So I think that created this idea that, well, I see mom here cooking, so I can clearly see her contribution and value it, but I don't see what dad's doing. I don't see that 300-pound beam almost crushed his brains. You know what I mean? I didn't see that he watched one of his best friends on the job die because he fell off a cliff in a coal mine. I didn't see that.
All I see is
dad come home. Yeah, all I see is him come home, throw his bag down and sit down and ask for food. So in from my perspective and from a lot of young women's perspective, they're looking at like, wow, look at dad. He's a selfish asshole. He just comes in, throws his boots down at the door, expects mom to clean up everything. But that's because she don't know that he almost died today. You know what I mean? So I think that maybe men need to kind of stop shielding women from the world that we live in and let them really see the reality of what happens. Because I think by getting a glimpse into the reality of men's working environments, the type of things we deal with on the street, the type of conversations we have, I think they'll be like, oh shit, wait, this isn't really a cakewalk. Like these guys actually do risk their lives on a day-to-day to make this world a safer place for all of us. So I think chivalry may have played an impact, what do y'all think about that?
Nigga, you drop. What can we say after that?
That's y'all don't even got no input. Yeah, you on fire. Like everything you done said today, I'm like, okay.
Do a show, Clout. You firing all cylinders tonight. You gotta have to do a show on that one, bro. just by itself, you gotta schedule a day with JR to come up on the Lapeef Network and do a show on that alone. Chivalry should have never lived. That should be the fucking title. God
Let's do it.
Yeah, I think it shouldn't have survived because it did work for a time, right? And the other thing about that is that I don't know if women ever saw it, right? They never really saw what we were doing, but they appreciated it more. And to go back to Clout's point again, once we started to say, all right, feminism is here, they can do that, we should have stopped everything else. Like, okay, this is what y'all want. This is what y'all gonna get, right? And everything that's going on right now, all of this nonsense that we're seeing with females feeling like they don't need men, we really could put that to a halt, right? Like a lot of us got friends that we help that just because, right? But they're going to have to be a casualty of war. We got to stop being those orbiters waiting for our turn. When a woman hasn't earned it, don't give them nothing. Humans don't respect anything that isn't earned. Don't give it to them. Just because you're beautiful, just because you're cute. No. If you don't hold open doors for fat women, don't do it for a cute woman either. You got to show the same energy, the same respect. Don't do anything special because they're beautiful. You got to boycott it all together. Don't let no woman get nothing off. If she hasn't earned it, she don't deserve it.
Pussy, Trev? How they gonna get some pussy? How we gonna get the,
oh, you can get it. Well, see, guess what? You earned it. Well, then you're earning it. That's different, right? I'm just talking about that, and that's locally. I'm talking about like expanded because we do a lot of things for people. We all do that just for women because, oh, damn, she fly. Let me see how I can help her. We got to stop all that, right? Just like we were talking about earlier with the social media. Dead it all together. All right, I got a boycott. I'm starting with that. So it is what it is. We have to shut it down because we're not rewarding women of virtue. We're rewarding 304s, right? Or just because you're cute, but you don't offer any value. And until we shut it down, and we have the power to shut it down, and we also have to police ourselves. When you see one of your homeboys doing that, shut it down too. Tell them, nah, we ain't doing that. 2024 ain't going like that. We're not rewarding 304s. We're rewarding virtue. Tell them the hell with that. And then, because women can't really last. When that side of the bed is cold, right? When we're not smashing those women, when we're not catering to those women, when we're not doing things that they didn't earn, they're going to feel it. They have to understand it because at the end of the day, women need men way more than men need women. We would survive a lot longer without them than they would without us. But they don't know that because we never exercised our power. If we stop being weak and stop succumbing to their beauty, then we have a fighting chance. And this might go on. It could be a generation washed. We might lose a couple. We're going to lose a couple. It's going to be a battle. It's going to be a war. But guess what? When the smoke clears, when it's all said and done, we can come out on top. We're just not exercising our power.
Well, Trev, I think that's going to happen real soon entering this new year. I think 2024 is going to be a very, very rough year for a lot of people. And you're going to see people struggle. Like, if you're going to see a moment where people are going to complain on social media the most, this upcoming year is going to be that year. You'll probably see a lot of people kind of regret all the mistakes that they made in the previous years.
Hey, Lewis, have you heard divorced people today are getting divorced and still living together because they can't afford to move out?
I have not heard. I did. Actually, I have a cousin who just got out of about 11 and a half year marriage. And he was still living with his wife. He just recently left. Just this month. But for the last, I think it was like a year, they were still like living together. You know what I'm saying? Like it's crazy